Hi everyone, my name is Manila. I know we've got about another minute before we need to start here, but I wanted to go ahead and get on first. If anybody is on watching, if you can just type in the chat box if you can hear me. And we will need, if you guys have blocks at home, or something like a pillow or a strap or a belt or anything like that. We'll be utilizing some props. I know on the schedule it said a gentle flow, but I was asked to do a Yin Yoga class tonight. So it's going to be a little bit more gentle than a flow. It's going to be different than a flow. We'll be holding poses longer. I'll explain here in a minute a little bit more about Yin. Give everybody good to go. Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate it. All right. Well, hi, my name is Manila. I am an instructor here with Living Balance Studios in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I am super excited to do this Yin practice with you guys today. As you do this practice, please challenge yourself. But also take care of your body as well. You know your body and your physical challenges and limits. Please keep in mind that myself, as well as Living Balance Studios, is not liable or responsible for any injuries that you might incur during this practice. We're going to do a 1 hour yin. Yin is different from the yang aspect of how we do a flow and move through postures and flow through them. Yin is getting in past the muscles and into the deeper connective tissue, that fascia. It helps to lengthen the connective tissue, boost circulation, increase flexibility, help to reduce stress levels. And as we go through it, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But if you have blankets, pillows, whatever pillows you might have around the house, straps, or belts can be used, or if you have the tension bands, that can be used as well. But we're going to start off this evening in child's pose. And if you'd like, you can take a normal child's pose, legs either close together, or you can bring them mat distance apart, whatever feels better for you. And if you'd like, you can use a prop. You can use your bolster, okay, coming down, or a block, or a smaller pillow if you have it, resting your head. Whatever feels best for you. We're going to be here for a few minutes, about 3 to 5 minutes, okay? So get comfortable. If you have glasses like me, you're going to want to take those off during the pose. Stretching those arms, sinking the hips back. If you have a hard time, if you're further up, you can take a blanket or a pillow and set it up under there so that you can rest down on it. And really just releasing that body into the posture. You can roll the frontal lobe side to side on the block. Helps to calm the central nervous system down. And we're going to start to breathe deep into the belly. So you want to breathe into your diaphragm area here. Okay. Really letting the ribs and the belly expand. If it hurts to have your arms straight out, you can bring the forearms down onto the mat. Just releasing any stress and tension from today. If the mind starts to wander, bring it back to the breath. Focusing on the inhale coming in through the nose, past the heart space, expanding the diaphragm, the ribs, into that low back area. And then making your exhales longer than your inhales. Yin Yoga can be a bit more challenging mentally than when we're doing the Yang version of yoga, where we're flowing. The Yin, the holding the postures, is more meditative. So you might find that you're listing off the things you need to do, things that happened yesterday or today. Bring it back to the breath. Or set an intention or a mantra for your practice. Something to bring the monkey mind down. We're going to take a couple more breaths here. Again, feeling free to roll that frontal lobe back and forth. Take 3 more inhales. And again, making those exhales longer than the inhales. Really stretching out the low back and the sacrum and the spine. And also compressing that lower digestive system here. When you're ready, slowly coming up. Removing any props out of your way. And we're going to come into a butterfly pose. So I'm going to turn towards you first. Butterfly is bringing the soles of the feet together and sitting up nice and tall to begin with. Now, if you have issues and don't have a very anterior tilt in your pelvis, feel free to grab a blanket or a pillow and elevate your hips. That way it's easier to tilt that pelvis forward because we're going to come down. Okay, so that's one modification you can do. Another modification is if you're like me and you can't quite get those knees all the way down to the ground. Again, you can use props. Never think that it's a weakness to use props in yoga. They help us deepen our practice. So you can bring these blocks up underneath your legs so that you can fully support your legs. That way the muscles are not working. Or you can roll up blankets, pillows, whatever is at your disposal. Okay. Once here, we're going to spine nice and tall, shoulders back and down. We're going to hinge from the hips, scanning the inner thighs to make sure we're not holding any tension. Take a nice deep inhale and then exhale, hinging from those hips so we're not rounding from the upper back, okay? Keeping the shoulders back and down. Finding that edge, that uncomfortable, comfortable, not pain. We never want pain in yoga. But coming forward, finding the edge, maybe using the elbows to slightly press into those knees. If you can't come down quite as far, feel free again to grab a bolster or a pillow, and you can hang out and prop yourself up on that as well. Depends on where you are today. Our bodies are different every single day, and they are constantly communicating with us, and it's whether or not we are listening. Like any good relationship, we need to learn to listen. So just from a side view, you can see how I'm sitting up a little bit more because of the blanket, and then folding with that flat back. Not rounding and arching, finding that edge, and then rounding into it. Again, breathing into that diaphragm. If this is uncomfortable, another option is to lie down on the back. Okay, and just bringing the soles of the feet together and letting those legs fall apart. If that is still uncomfortable and you're near a wall, you can also do it up against the wall. And again, we're letting those muscles relax. We're not tensing them up. Allowing us to get past the muscle and into that connective tissue. It takes 120 seconds, so 2 minutes, to get beyond that muscle and into that connective tissue, to deepen and stretch that connective tissue out. All of our muscles, our bones, our ligaments, tendons, everything is wrapped in connective tissue. And if we don't keep it elastic or flexible, it gets tight and painful to move and can hinder just everyday things that we need to do, like walking, bending over, carrying things. Again, bringing that mind back to the breath. You might find that after being here for that minute or two, on the next exhale, see if you can sink just a little bit deeper. Again, not if it's painful, but see if your edge, that uncomfortable, comfortable, is even a millimeter deeper. We'll be holding these poses anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes. Take 3 more deep inhales and exhales. Making those exhales at least 2 counts longer than the inhales. Slowly bring yourself up. If you are in a reclined position on your back or against the wall, go ahead and bring yourself up slowly. Use those hands to gently close the legs. Bring the feet mat distance apart. Bring the hands behind the hips and let's windshield wiper those knees back and forth. Reset those hips. And notice how the body feels through the thighs, through the inner and outer hips. What is it telling you right now? Is it telling you it really enjoyed that? Or maybe you'll notice it later. Okay. You can come into an easy seated pose, whatever that looks like for you. So again, if you have a hard time sitting down, you can sit on the blanket or a block or a bolster. Elevate those hips to help you out. We're going to do eagle arms. So we're going to get into the shoulders here and the upper back as well. So there's different variations for eagle arms depending on your flexibility up here. But we're going to inhale the arms out wide and then exhale, wrap yourself up in a hug. So we'll bring left arm underneath the right first. This is the first variation, and you should feel a nice deep stretch along that upper back up here into those shoulders and traps. If this isn't enough for you, you can go ahead and bring the arms up, the backs of the hands together. That's the next variation. And we want to bring the elbows up and the arms away from the face to intensify that stretch and look for that edge again, that uncomfortable, comfortable. If this is still not enough for you, you can bring the palms of the hands together or grab that right thumb with that left hand, your choice. You can't quite get the palms together. But again, raising those elbows up, bringing the hands away from the face, breathing into that diaphragm. This is great stretch if you sit at a desk all day, computer, if you drive all day. Really helps to stretch through that upper back. We're not going to hold this one for 5 minutes by any means. It can be intense if you're super tight. Again, return to that breath. Return to that mantra or that intention that you've set. So Yin really helps with mobilizing the joints, get the better flexibility with this sustained stretching to help with that elasticity of that connective tissue. Take 2 more inhales and exhales here. Slowly release when you're ready. Unwind the arms and roll those shoulders out. First in one direction and then the other. Inhale the arms out again. And then we're going to bring the right arm underneath the left this time. Again, finding your variation. It might be different from one side to the other. That's okay. The body is not different on, or it's not the same on each side, excuse me. We always have that one side that's a little more open than the other. It's not that we have a bad side. We wouldn't know how open we are on the other side without that. I like to call it the more cranky side, but it's okay. It shows us what we need to work on, where we need to open up the body to let our energy flow better. When we have these aches and pains and tightness, our energy is stuck. And through these movements of the yang side of yoga, as well as these sustained stretching that we do on the yin side, we are able to open these stagnant areas up and let that energy flow and move with ease and grace through the body so that we can carry that into our daily lives. Moving through our days with a little more ease and grace, you will start to feel more light, the more open your energy is flowing through the body. It's a beautiful feeling. And some days are easier than others, depending on what we have going on in life, depending on the food we've eaten. A lot of factors that go into how we feel on a daily basis, which is why it's so important to start listening to your body and building that relationship with it. Next, inhale, slowly release. And again, roll those shoulders out. So we're going to do some gentle neck stretching real quick. Now the neck, we have to be very mindful of. You won't feel it today if we don't be careful, but you will feel it tomorrow. We're going to take that right ear over to that that right shoulder. If you'd like, you can take that left hand and sit on it so that you're not leaning like this. We literally just want to drop that right ear to that right shoulder. Or you can take the left hand out and walk it out if you'd like, or it can just gently stay on your knee. Other option is to take the right hand and just gently lay it above that left ear. We're not pulling. We're letting gravity do the work here for us. Like I said, the neck is very temperamental. We have to be very, very careful with it. And again, just focusing on the breath. We won't be here for very long. Go ahead and bring that right hand down. Roll the chin to the chest. And then roll that left ear to that left shoulder. Again, options to sit on that right hand to make sure that we're not leaning over to that left side or walking that right hand out. Gently taking that left hand to the top of that right ear and just laying that hand there, not pulling. Scanning the body to ensure we're not holding tension anywhere else. And again, keeping those exhales longer than those inhales. By doing that, we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest system. Too often we are sitting in that fight-flight response. We have to bring ourselves out of that autonomic nervous system so that we're not living in a constant state of stress. So breathing and allowing those exhales to be longer than your inhales triggers that parasympathetic nervous system, helps to decrease anxiety and greatly reduces your risk for depression. Go ahead and bring that left hand off of that right ear. Roll the chin down to the chest. And if you'd like, just take these half moons, these half circles, just gently being mindful. Then rolling that chin back to the chest in the center and coming up through the center. We're going to come to lay on our backs again. Have a block handy or something similar to a block. So coming down, we're going to bring the knees into the chest and extend that left leg out. Hug that right knee in and just rock that knee back and forth real quick, creating a little movement in that hip joint. And having your block on the left hand side of you, you're going to take that left hand to the outside of that right knee, bring that right hand out into a T or cactus arm, depending on how close you are to a wall. And on the exhale, we're going to bring that right knee across the body to the left side. And we're going to bring that knee right on top of the block. We want to ensure that that right shoulder blade stays down to the ground so that we are getting the most out of this spinal twist. The block here allows you to rest that weight on so that we're not contracting any of the muscles again. You can have it on whatever level you need to. So if you can't quite get all the way over and you need it on the highest level, then bring it up on the highest, just so that we're not contracting through that thigh and definitely not through that right hip. I want you to place your hand on that right hip and notice if you are tensing any of those muscles around that right hip into the glutes. Check to make sure you're not tensing that right inner thigh. Your gaze can be to the right or up to the ceiling. And again, we're just breathing here. This is really great for the digestive system as well as that low back and into that hip, your spine. Spinal twists are just amazing. Making sure we're not clenching the jaw or the brow. Letting the tongue fall from the roof of the mouth. At any point in time you feel pain, come out of it. Back off. Noticing your breath. Did you start shallow breathing again? Bring the awareness back to it. Try to inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 6. And always practice that ujjayi breath, constricting the back of the throat on the exhale. Scanning the body from head to toe. And anywhere that you feel tension or tightness, send the breath there. Next inhale, we're going to slowly bring the knees back to center. Hug them into the chest and roll that low back out side to side. And see if you notice a difference between how the right hip feels, the right side of the body to the left. Not judging, but just noticing. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see. We're going to take it on the opposite side now. So stretching that right leg out this time, hugging that left knee in, rocking it back and forth, creating just a little movement in that hip joint. Ensuring that your block is on your right side. Taking that right hand to the outside of that left knee, left arm out into a T or cactus. And we're going to gently on the exhale, bring that left knee across the body, remembering to see which level you need your block or whatever prop you're using on. Again, it might be different on this side. We always have that one side that's a little more cranky. And again, ensuring that we're not holding any tightness in that left hip and that we're comfortably relaxing that left leg's weight on our prop or on the floor if you're able to reach the floor. Gaze either to the ceiling or to the left. At any point in time, something starts to go to sleep, like your leg, back out of the pose a little bit. Give it a breath or two. And if that's not enough, come out of the pose. Stretch the leg out. Roll the ankle around. And see if you need to come just a little bit less this time. Changing your props as needed. Again, making sure that left shoulder blade is on the ground. We have to get rid of the ego in yoga that wants to push us past where we really need to be with the body. We always want to keep ourselves on our mat and not looking around at everybody else. And also not judging ourselves. We can notice things, but don't judge and be harsh. There's a reason we feel that way. And maybe try to analyze, see where it might be coming from. Is it an old belief system that we need to work on? And see if it still is necessary in our life. Or maybe we need to forge a new belief system, a new way of thinking, whether it's about ourselves, about something in our life. Slowing your practice down and bringing this more meditative state really tries to put that monkey mind to test and bring it under control. Next, inhale, brings the knees back into center, into the chest, and again, rolling the low back side to side, taking whatever movement your body might need. We're going to come up and grab a block if you have it, or a pillow, some small pillow, or if you have a larger one, that's fine. We're going to do a supported fish pose. Typically, you don't use a prop, but I really like to use a prop for supported fish pose. So if you have a block or something smaller, I'll show you on that first. We'll take it long ways on the mat, and we want it to hit right around our shoulder blade area. And this is a heart opener. So if at any point in time you feel dizziness in this, slowly come up out of it. If you have a bigger pillow or a bolster, that's always easier. I'll show you that in just a second here. But we're going to come to lie down with that block in our shoulder blade area. You might have to adjust it. And if you need a pillow up under your neck, feel free to place it there. Legs can be bent if you'd like, or long, your preference. Again, it depends on your body. You can have this as supported as you want. Okay, so this is what it would look like, keeping the head straight up. With the bolster, it's a lot more gentle. You must come home and lay like this. Bring it up to your low back, and then lay back on it. Arms can be out to the side. It helps to open up through the chest here. Helps to open the front of the body. And again, breathing into that diaphragm. We won't be here for very long for the heart opener. 5 more rounds of breath. Again, trying to make those exhales longer than the inhales. This is a great pose if you're hunched over a computer or a desk all day. Just open up through that front side body. When we come up, bring the arms to the side. Engage the core and gently come up. Move any props out of the way. Options here to bend those knees and round and hug to counteract, or you can come into a child's pose. Wherever you are, take 3 rounds of breath. And then we're going to come into a hip flexor. I'm going to do dragon pose. So if you have some props, grab those, whether it's a big pillow or some blocks. We're going to come kneeling. And we're going to take that right leg and step that foot between the hands. If you're on a hardwood floor, feel free to grab a blanket or a t-shirt or whatever you have handy and put it up underneath that left knee if it bothers your knee. Okay. Blocks can be on any level, but we are leaning into that front hip flexor, that left hip flexor, excuse me. You can bring that foot, if you have knee issues, make sure that that knee is lined up over that ankle on that right leg. But we're tilting that pelvis under and bringing those hips forward. Legs can be wide. They don't need to be close together. But you should feel a beautiful stretch in that left hip flexor here. Again, finding that edge, that comfortable. So this is one of those that can be a very intense pose. So really focusing on that breathing, bringing those shoulder blades back and down. We're not hunching over here, trying to maintain that nice long spine. It can get difficult when we're in a more uncomfortable position like this one. So again, if it's too much, back off just a little bit, but don't come so far out of it that you're not going to get any benefits from the stretch. So it's finding that beautiful balance here. And breathing and returning to that intention or that mantra. A great breath for when we're doing hips is horse breath. So I will demonstrate. You take a nice deep inhale, and just like a horse, let it out. The hips and the jaws are connected, so if you're clenching or tightening one, you are definitely tightening the other. And try not to fidget. It's very difficult, I know. And we want to ensure we're not dumping all the weight into the hands and the shoulders. So we're engaging that core here. Like I said, that spine is nice and tall. And scanning to make sure that we're not holding tension in the feet. or the inner thighs, or the shoulders, the forehead, the jaw. We're almost there. Keep focusing on that breath. Inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 6. When you're ready, slowly start to press those hips back. Bringing that left knee down to meet the right. If you need to take a little movement, take whatever you feel necessary. If you want to come into a child's pose for a breath. Otherwise, we're going to take that left foot forward. And you know where we're going. Spine up nice and tall, sinking those hips forward. Again, whatever level your props need to be on. Finding that edge. Breathing into that diaphragm. And remembering you can use a blanket or something up under that right knee if it becomes uncomfortable. Checking to make sure we're not dumping all that weight in the arms and the shoulders. We're almost there. You're doing great. Take one more deep inhale and exhale. And then slowly come out. Being mindful. And again, taking whatever movement your body is craving. So if it's just coming into a child's pose and pressing those legs together, or if you want them mat distance apart, whatever your body needs. You're going to come down for one final pose. So grabbing a bolster or a pillow or a block, having it on the side of you next to your hip. We're going to come down onto our backs. Bring the feet in close to the buttocks, hip distance apart, arms by the side. We're going to inhale, lift the hips up and drag that bolster under the hips just to that sacrum. Okay. And then rest the hips down on it for a supported bridge. Option to keep the knees bent, or you can lengthen them out. This is a nice release for the psoas muscle here. Another option, if you want, can also bring those legs up and reverse that blood flow. Your choice. But keeping that neck neutral, gazing up to the ceiling and keeping that space between the chin and the chest. by the side or out into a T. Take 5 more inhales and exhales here. Feeling that bridge, that supported bridge. And when you're ready, putting a bend back into the knees, feet planted onto the earth. Inhale, push the hips up, remove the bolster or whatever prop from underneath you. Bring the butt down onto the ground, hugging the knees into the chest to counteract that pose, rocking side to side. And then we're going to gently come down onto the mat for your final resting pose, your Shavasana, whatever that may look like for you. So if you need something under your knees, if you have low back issues, you can place a pillow or a folded blanket under your knees. You can come onto your stomach if you'd like for Shavasana. You can come into a reclined butterfly pose again. Whatever it looks like for you. And we're going to take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. And scan the body for any remaining tension. Smooth over the brow. Unclench the jaw. And release the tongue from the palate. The body has done the work, and now it is time for your mind to receive. Softening through the feet, letting them fall out gently to the side, softening through the calves, the hamstrings, quads, the pelvis, the back and the abdominals, softening through the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the neck, the jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, the forehead, and the crown. Letting the prana, that life force, flow in and out through your nose. Starting to bring your awareness back to the body. Starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Roll through the wrists and the ankles. Bending at elbows and knees. Hugging the knees into the chest and rolling onto your favorite side into the asana of new beginnings. Pausing here for a moment of gratitude. Gratitude for your body and what it gave you today. And gratitude for yourself for taking these 60 minutes to nurture your mind, body, and soul. You are worth it. And you are enough. I invite you to take that top hand, press it into the earth, and come into an easy seated position. Gaze either closed or gently lowered. It was a true honor to guide each of you today. Namaste, my friends.